Our sexual desires can never really be satisfied. Even when we give in to them, they come back the next day, or even in a few hours. After giving in to these desires, we often feel empty inside. That's why the French call an orgasm la petite mort, which means the little death. This term refers to the feeling that we get after an orgasm, which can be compared to the feeling of death. Physically, orgasms use up a lot of energy and affect our whole nervous system. Afterward, our legs might feel weak and we become tired and slow. The stronger the orgasm, the more drained we feel afterward. Mentally, it's hard to think clearly, and focusing on anything becomes difficult. We may avoid tasks that need mental effort after an orgasm. In the end, orgasms take away our energy, focus, and more, but only give a few moments of pleasure in return. It doesn't seem like a fair trade because what we give up is much more than what we get back. It might even feel like a waste, as a brief moment of pleasure leads to a feeling of emptiness. Energy is just energy. Sexual energy comes from the same source we use for our daily activities, which is our vital energy. When we have an orgasm, we use up some of that vital energy for short-term pleasure. This quick pleasure comes at a price. The energy we spend on it could have been used for things that help us grow and get better. This idea is called opportunity cost because when we pick one thing, we lose out on another. Over time, a man who constantly chases sexual pleasure gets used to wasting his energy. He doesn't feel bothered by it because he doesn't realize the harm he's doing to himself. Wasting energy becomes normal for him, and he keeps going without thinking much about it. But the worst pain comes from a man who knows how harmful an orgasm can be, yet still gives in to his desires. This knowledge, along with not being able to control himself, leads to the deepest feelings of pain and self-hate. When you first learn about semen retention and decide to practice it, you realize the huge potential inside you. It's like a curtain has been pulled away, and for the first time, you see the truth about your energy and what you can do. This is why people who know that orgasms drain their energy get very frustrated when they can't control their desires. Knowing about something isn't enough on its own. Just deciding to follow semen retention doesn't guarantee that you'll succeed. How well you can stick to semen retention depends on the kind of commitment you make, and there are two main paths you can follow: repression or transformation. The repression path means trying to control and hold back your sexual desires just by using willpower. People who take this path try to push away their urges and stay away from situations that might trigger them. But this method often doesn't work because it lacks a deeper reason beyond just not ejaculating. If you don't have a strong reason to stick with it, you're more likely to give in when you face temptation. The repression path also leads to a lot of frustration. For semen retention to work well and last, it needs to be guided by a clear and meaningful goal. When you have a goal like this, you follow the path of transformation. This path is about using semen retention as a way to reach a specific goal. Instead of just holding back, you use the benefits of semen retention to push you toward your dreams. With a clear goal, you become more aware of your sexual desires. You realize that giving in to them could pull you away from what you want to achieve. This awareness is very important because it helps you stay focused and committed. Having a purpose helps you see the bigger picture. You can make sense of your choices, and instead of just fighting urges with willpower, you have a real reason for your commitment. For a commitment to really help you, it has to match your true intentions. Think about an athlete. An athlete can commit to semen retention because he knows that having an orgasm could hurt his performance. Even more, he understands that by controlling his sexual energy, the benefits of semen retention will make him perform better. His goal of getting better at his sport gives him strong motivation and helps him stay committed to semen retention. But during the off-season or after retirement, the athlete's commitment to semen retention might get weaker. At that point, he needs to find a new goal. If not, he might fall back into the path of repression. The main point here is that when semen retention is linked to a clear goal, it gives direction and meaning. This makes the commitment stronger and more likely to work. Your goal should come first, before semen retention. Semen retention is just a tool to help you reach what you want. For instance, a religious person commits to semen retention because it makes him feel closer to the divine. So, think carefully about the reason for your commitment. Frustration by itself isn't enough. When your semen retention has a real purpose behind it, the commitment becomes easier to keep. This is because you're focusing on something bigger, and you can use semen retention as a way to achieve it. When you give your sexual energy a goal, it helps you use that energy for something productive. You won't feel like you're just holding back your urges for no reason. Instead, you'll feel strong in your choice to retain semen because you know it's helping you reach a bigger goal. The path of transformation is the best way to practice semen retention because it connects your commitment with your larger purpose. The path of transformation pushes you to use your sexual energy in other parts of your life. For example, you can use this energy to get better at your physical health, grow in your career, or build stronger relationships. By putting your sexual energy into helpful activities, you'll notice that your overall well-being gets better. You'll have more energy, be more focused, and feel motivated to go after your goals. This is the main difference between the path of repression and the path of transformation. Repression is about trying to control your sexual urges with willpower, but transformation is about using your sexual energy for meaningful activities. It's important to keep in mind that semen retention isn't about denying yourself pleasure or pushing down your natural desires. Instead, it's about learning how to manage your energy in a way that helps you with your long-term goals. Sexual energy is very powerful, and when you learn how to use it, you can achieve amazing things. The path of transformation lets you take control of your energy and put it toward things that really matter to you. This is what makes semen retention a strong tool for personal growth and self-mastery. The benefits of semen retention go beyond just having more energy and focus. Many people who practice it say they feel clearer, have more purpose, and feel more emotionally balanced. When you stop letting your sexual desires control you, you gain a new level of self-discipline. This discipline affects other parts of your life, making it easier to keep your promises and reach your goals. You may also notice that your mental health gets better. Men who practice semen retention often say they feel less anxious, are in a better mood, and have a greater sense of well-being. By taking back control of your sexual energy, you give yourself the power to live a more purposeful and fulfilling life. It's also important to note that semen retention can have a positive effect on your relationships. When you're not always focused on sexual pleasure, you can be more present with your partner. This presence helps build a deeper emotional connection and closeness. By practicing semen retention, you also have more energy and attention for other parts of your relationship, like communication, emotional support, and working toward shared goals. This can lead to a relationship that feels more balanced and fulfilling, where both partners feel closer and more supported. Of course, practicing semen retention comes with its challenges. One of the most common issues is handling sexual urges. These urges can be very strong, especially at the start, and it's easy to feel tempted to give in. It's important to remember that these urges are normal, and learning how to manage them is a key part of the journey. Finding ways to handle your urges without giving in is necessary for long-term success. Some people find it helpful to put their energy into other activities like exercise, meditation, or creative projects. Others find that just recognizing the urge and letting it pass without acting on it works well. Over time, you'll figure out what works best for you. Another challenge is staying committed for a long time. At first, it's easy to feel excited and motivated, but as time goes by, that initial excitement can fade. That's why it's important to have a clear reason for practicing. When you're working toward a meaningful goal, it's easier to stay committed, even when your motivation drops. Also, having supportive people around you who understand what you're doing can make a big difference. Whether it's a group of like-minded people or a supportive partner, having others who encourage and uplift you can help you stay focused. When you have a meaningful reason behind your practice of semen retention, it becomes easier to keep your commitment. This is because you're focusing on something bigger, and you use semen retention as a tool to reach your goal. By giving your sexual energy a purpose, you can direct that energy towards something useful. You won't feel like you're just holding back your urges without a reason. Instead, you'll feel empowered because you know that retaining semen is helping you work toward a bigger goal. The path of transformation is the most effective way to practice semen retention because it connects your commitment with a larger purpose. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want more content like this, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Hit the like button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. We'll continue bringing you informative videos on personal growth, self-mastery, and more. Stay tuned for our next episode.